Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Janine, your midlife BFF. And on today's video, it's just a very chatty get ready with me. I want to talk to you guys about navigating an empty nest, what I'm doing to recover from my empty nest depression. And yeah, we're just chatting it up, all things midlife, makeup, and how I've decided to kind of reinvent myself a little bit this year. Maybe it will give you guys some inspiration as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's long, it's chatty, but you know how we do it here on this channel. If you're not already subscribed, get subscribed and make sure you like, comment, and share. And I hope you enjoy the video. All right, you guys, we are just going to dive right in. I am super happy to be back with my people here on YouTube. I actually want to ask a question before we get too far down this rabbit hole because you know I can chat away. And would you want me to do this type of video live so we can chat in real time? And it's like a get ready with me slash, midlife BFF chat time, because I'm thinking that that might be kind of fun. So let me know down in the comments. I know I'm already asking you to comment and we just started, but let me know. So I'll talk through a little bit of my makeup and we'll chat at the same time. Um, I have a couple of new products, some old faithfuls, gonna finish some. So we will get into all of that. I've got all of my BK Beauty brushes. You guys, I've been like really enjoying doing makeup again. I almost feel like I rediscovered my love of it. I used to love it and then I got away from it. But, and that's part of one of the things we're going to chat about today, because one of the reasons why I got back into it was, empty nest syndrome. I started to think like, gosh, besides work, what do I have? Like I don't have any hobbies. Like I just completely lost myself, you know? Um, this is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I'm doing it to do a little color correcting. I definitely have a lot of veins and blue, and this is perfect for that. I have a lot of blue veins on my eyelids. So I want to try to like nicely color correct those before I put on shadow. Anyways, let me get back to this BK Beauty bag. I'm obsessed because it's a stand. So this is perfect for travel. And then when you're doing your makeup, you can actually find your brushes because you just pull that down and all your brushes are there. And this is a stand. Very cool. I love it. I will have as many of the products I can tag on YouTube Shopping tagged, or they'll also be tagged in the description. And if you scan the barcode up on the screen, all of my relevant links are there, you guys. So if you're like things like my outfits, my shirt, my jewelry, things like that, they're all linked on LTK, on Amazon. I always have all of that stuff. So if you follow me on all of those things, you will always be in the know. Okay. This is my other little obsession is this bag. I received it as a gift from a brand and I just featured it in my little gifting list because it's just like you fit so much product in here. It's insane. Like it's literally insane how much makeup fits in there. I already obviously underneath that camo concealer, I have skin prep. My skin is prepped with I'm still on the Elia glazing milk, which when that is done, I am going to try the Rhode because I do feel like that's more cost effective. All right. I guess we're going to we're going to start with brows. I am going to do my little e.l.f. Wow Brow to fill in. Now, let me make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. So I usually start with the tip and then I kind of do this, just kind of filling them in. This stuff is so good, so cheap. So like that. And then I will brush up just like that. I'm in a new location. This is my office. So a lot, and it's more optimized for filming. So more of my videos will either be in here or in my studio. The studio is where I film my podcast, which is Candidly with Coffee. If you have not listened to my podcast, I'd appreciate the support there. You can download it, listen to it on Apple, Spotify. You could watch it here on YouTube. Lots of good free value. If those of you don't know, I am a coach. I coach clients online, midlife coach, help people look and feel their best at any age, specifically women in midlife. But a lot of the info I share on my podcast is like free coaching. And anyways, when I'm filming that podcast, I'm in my studio, the podcast studio. So when I do that, I also get like some other content filmed while I'm in there. So some of my videos take place there. This is the Maybelline Build-A-Brow. I use it to draw on like hair, like strokes, if you're like me and you overplucked in the 90s, your brows need some help. So I'm going to take my time, obviously, doing my makeup today because I'm showing you, I'm teaching. I don't always take this long to do my makeup, but that's it. That's the brows. Love, love those two products, drugstore products. Okay, we're going to go in with foundation. And I did opt I was deciding between getting House Labs again or doing the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. And you guys, Giorgio Armani is what I decided to go with. I've had it before. I usually buy maybe a foundation twice a year. So this is definitely a splurge, but when it's your foundation, this is like the literal foundation of your entire makeup. I like what I like, and this is mature skin friendly. This is the BK Beauty brush, the 101 foundation brush. If you're impatient and you want to get foundation on quickly, this is game changer. I did go with a different shade of luminous silk this time. I feel like I finally learned how to color match myself. This one has is for a pink undertone, and I have a pink undertone. I don't know if I have always had that. I think it has to do with age, to be honest, like broken blood vessels below the surface of the skin, or maybe it's the tretinoin. I don't know, but I definitely have a pink undertone to my skin. And I'm more of like on the cool side. Um, so I also feel like House Labs, they're kind of like off on their coloring. I don't know. I feel like my color, even though it said it was cool, it wasn't really. It was kind of weird. I don't know. Anyway, what I do with foundation, especially for midlife, okay, if you're over 40, do not put foundation under your under eye. No, the foundation is too thick for the under eye. And if you put foundation and then layer concealer over that, that is going to be too much product and you are not going to like that. That's going to settle. That's going to accentuate fine lines. Oh, so this is the first time I'm using this color. I like it. I opted to go lighter because it's the winter time. I'm pretty light right now, but I also thought like I can easily add my bronzing drops if I need to darken it. You could always darken a foundation. So if you are not sure, always opt for a little lighter and you can add like, some bronzing drops or something to darken it, but you cannot lighten a foundation. Not easily anyway. All right. So there's the foundation. We're going to let that kind of like do its thing. So what I like to do while the foundation is kind of setting, because you don't want to just immediately start packing on other products on top of that. You want it to settle into your skin. And you want to make sure you're pushing it in too. So it just kind of gets nice and in there. And then while that's happening, while that's kind of like settling into my skin, I will go ahead and do eyeshadow. Now, sometimes when I'm filming, like for the podcast or whatever, I go all out on the eyeshadow. But for the most part, like daily wear, I'm a firm believer in like one and done eyeshadow. That's the way to go. I love the Giorgio Armani's, the caviar sticks from Laura Mercier. This one right here is a go-to. It's Pillow Talk. It is Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. Look at that shade. It's so pretty. But these very creamy, they blend very easily. A little goes a long way. Let me put the foundation away. This one's kind of pricey, but it lasts a really long time. And if you seal it good, it'll last. Just make sure you really seal it. But I love it because it's a one and done. Okay. I know that it's, looks fun to put on all that eyeshadow and stuff, but sometimes I just feel like, for what? It just all blends together. So this is the BK Beauty. My son is going to be 28 in August. He still lives here. My daughter's going to be 24. She moved out in August. And I was not prepared for the impact of her leaving and how that would affect me mentally. It really sent me into kind of like a little depression, to be honest. And it was, it blindsided me. And I think what I didn't realize was that for years, my entire identity since I was the age of 21, when I had my son, was a mom. That was my purpose, was nurturing and taking care of, and everything. My whole entire life revolved around that. And I think that as a mom, I feel like when they leave, it can feel like a loss of identity, a loss of purpose, a loss of connection. And if you're not prepared for that, it can really throw you for a loop. And I've thought about that a lot since that happened and kind of blindsided me. I've thought about, okay, you got to pull it together. And I'm blending this out now, by the way, with a 202. It's just a little fluffy brush. I had to kind of like really dig into why I was so down. I get it. It's sad. It's an ending. It's the end of a whole part of your life that's over for good. And I think that's what really got me the most. That part of my life is over for good. But then, you can't sit there for too long. You can't swim in that for too long. That's dangerous. And the longer you stay, the harder it is to swim out of it. So I really started to think about how could I make this easier on myself, and what can I do? And I really had to kind of like look inward and think, I'm lacking hobbies. I'm lacking other than work. Work is like my only purpose, right? And so I'm lacking like finding joy in things other than my job. And so that's when I started to think like, it's not too late to like learn something new, do something new. Why don't we? This is a Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. Avoid your temples if you are over 40 because that actually ages you. Density here in the temple, and that actually shows your age. And if you want like anti-aging makeup tips, then avoid the temple. I'm also going to do my nose. So I like to go right under the jawbone, right above the cheekbone. So don't go too low. Line it up with the top of the ear. And then around the forehead, but avoid the temple. If you're younger, you could do the temple. So if you're under 40, go ahead, have at it. But otherwise, avoid. Okay, so I'm gonna get the BK Beauty 111 brush to buff this out. And this one's old, to be honest, so we'll see if it's gonna blend. Oh yeah, it's okay. So then you just tap it, or you could swipe under here, but on the face, try tapping, because if you swipe too much, you're gonna move your foundation. You just wanna press this into the face. It's gonna stay right on top of the foundation. If you swipe, it's gonna rub off your foundation. So that's a common mistake that people make. So I just decided that I was going to start to try to like think about things that I like doing, but that I could get better at. And, you know, like reinvent myself, honestly. And so it kind of like is the reason why some of my content is changing on YouTube, because I've always loved beauty and fashion. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get a little more into my beauty and fashion again. And jewelry and just girly things. I'm just going to get into that again. I'm going to watch makeup tutorials, and I'm going to master my own makeup and just get better at things. And that's what I love doing. And so that's why, you know, I'm doing more of that, because that's my way of, you know, like filling a void. I'm gonna blend out my nose now. I have a good nose contour brush. It's from Patrick Ta. This is so good. I know that it's gonna be really hard when my son moves out. I mean, him and he made me a mom, you know, and we are just buds. We are like best buds. I mean, so are my daughter and I, but my son and I, sometimes I feel like to his detriment, maybe we need this because we're maybe a little codependent. We're very close. We work together. He works for me and has ever since he got out of high school. He's the producer and he's the co-owner of the studio that produces my podcast. And we spend a lot of time together. And the cool thing is when he moves out, I know we'll spend, it's not that we won't spend time together. It's none of that. It's just, it's going to be different. You know, we'll never live together again. It's the endings for me. It's the endings that just like, they mess me up, you guys, big time. They mess me up big time. Okay, we're gonna do blush. I'm gonna go with a pink blush. This is the Say pink blush, super pigmented. It has a really pretty like luminosity. I find that I don't like a super matte face as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I wanted everything matte. I just kind of dot it on here and then I will blend it in. And I like a little more like a glow. I like a glow. This is the BK Beauty 109 brush. Really good for tapping in your blush. And I'm just gonna tap it. Again, no swiping, because if you swipe, you will make a mess. You'll mix bronzer, foundation, it'll mix like soup. I've learned all these things the hard way. So I'm committed this year to rediscovering myself, learning new things, trying new things, creating new traditions. One thing that I've realized, and I've talked about it on here already, but like I've spent the last 3 years since my mom died so caught up in the memories and always just memories, that I forgot that I'm in the process right now of making new memories for my kids, my future grandkids, all of that, you know? And so like, I was like, I kind of had a wake up call, like, oh my God, I can't stop doing Christmas and stop traditions, because what are my kids gonna have? They're not gonna have the magical memories that I had, because a lot of the magical memories I had were, I was an adult, you know? I was already an adult. My mom, I have amazing memories of being an adult, my mom helping me with my kids and, you know, all the things. And so I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop. I have to keep going because it's not fair to them. So that's the focus right now. And it's okay to have moments of the nostalgia and be in your memories and be sad, but you got to come out of it and remember that you're making new memories. And that is very, very important. We cannot lose sight of that. Okay, concealer. I'm really liking the L'Oreal True Match. It was a great replacement for my Kosas, much cheaper. And I really like it. So far, I'm really liking this. I'm loving the foundation. I'm liking everything. All right, so concealer, we're gonna go in the corner. Actually, I need to do my eyeliner first before I can do it up here. I'll let that sit for a second, that's fine. Your concealer can sit, it'll just be more full coverage when it sits. All right, so I got the concealer on. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute while I do my eyeliner. Eyeliner makes your eyes nice and big. It extends your eyes, but the best way to do it is take your pencil, line it between the top and the bottom, and then close your eye and pull straight out. And then you can fix it, but that's the key. Look straight ahead, close your eye, pull straight out. That is what's gonna give you the best placement. That was the best tip I learned all year, because I always used to have the wrong placement, because I would look down like this and I would try to put my eyeliner up like this. And then when you look straight, it looks so funky. So then I hold the lashes down because I have the Lashifys on. It makes it a little more challenging, but then you just extend it onto the lash. If you go too far up, you could fix that. That's why I like to do the concealer after. I may have pulled out a little too far, but that's okay. I just will fix it with the concealer. Actually, I'll show you what I do. Okay, so you gotta get these from Amazon. These are game changer for fixing mistakes. So then I just go and you just clean it up. And then I'm going to, if you don't have Lashify, this is a much easier process. But that is game changer. These are game changer, Amazon. Okay, so once that is on, I also like to get this little, it's the 204 from BK Beauty. And I smudge it. So now I'm gonna go in with, this is the Angie Hot and Flashy, which by the way, love her channel. She has lots of good information. The A506, she has a collab with BK Beauty, and she has really good brushes in hers. This is my favorite concealer brush. So I'm just gonna tap in and I'm gonna run that concealer down the side of my nose. And oh, I forgot, I'm gonna do the concealer up here, always. That'll give you more of a lift. I'm just gonna emphasize with you guys is I want you guys to do the same thing. If you're feeling in a rut, sad, maybe your kids are older, maybe they're not even empty nest yet, you're still at home, but they're, they're with their friends. They don't need you anymore. It's not the same, you have to reinvent yourself and don't rely on your spouse. because you need to find your own happiness and be happy individually without anyone else responsible for making you happy. And then you come together and it's like the best, right? If neither of you are reliant on the other to make you happy. That is something that, Mike and I are really good about. We kind of complement each other, but we're not codependent with each other. We don't need each other, but we want to spend time together. That's the beauty. I think this can be a really challenging time for marriages too. It's a little different depending on if you are with the father of your kids or if it's your second marriage or whatever. See, like Mike doesn't have his own kids. So I think honestly that makes it easier because I don't know, he gets it though. He understands why it's hard for me and all of that, but I don't know. I think it would be more difficult if it was still the father of my kids, because you almost have to learn how to be together again, like just you two. There's a lot of divorce at this stage in life because you don't know how to be together. You don't know how to be husband and wife because you're mom and dad. Mike and I have been married for 10 years, but together for 14 years. So he's been there for a big part of their lives, but it's still different because we've always just been husband and wife, and I'm mom. I think it would be much more challenging if it were different. So concealer is on. I think that looks really good. This is a low lighter. Sometimes I feel like if my concealer shade is too close to like my actual foundation shade, it doesn't brighten me enough. I like to do like a dot or so of this stuff. It's a brightening, and just on like the inner corner, just to give me like a little it's hard for me to see if this is filming. Okay, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. But let me tell you, you don't need to be artistic, consider yourself good at makeup or into this stuff you don't need all of that stuff for learning how to do your own makeup to make you feel really good. Like you've kind of mastered yourself, Okay, let's talk about concealer really quick. Little goes a long way, so just be very cautious not to over apply concealer. And you really want to make sure and blend it out really well before you set it with a loose powder. And we're going to talk about that in a second because it's a very imperative step, and it was a mistake I made for a long time. So we're going to set, this is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set Spray. And this was like, I don't know, $10 instead of the Charlotte Tilbury $58. And it goes on a nice fine mist, which I like. It's actually a finer mist than the Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury, sometimes a big droplet would come out of it, which is kind of annoying. You fully let that dry before doing anything else. And you can, if you are pressed for time, get a little one of these portable fans and you can do this between all of your makeup steps just to make sure that you are not applying wet on wet or powder on wet or whatnot. So I always like to set after all the creams are on, and then we're going to powder everything else. Before we do that, we'll do a little more eye now. So I'm going to do this liner. I love these Makeup Forever artist pencils. This is like a beige color. I think it's called Biz. I always do the waterline. It opens up your eyes. So this one's done. See the difference? Nice, bright. And then I like to do a little liner. I will say, I feel like I was blessed because my kids did stay home longer than most. A lot of kids, they leave at 18. So I could have been an empty nester 10 years ago. Isn't that crazy? So I got extra time, but does that make it harder? Kind of feels like it because I got to live with them as adults too. And so we're like friends and roomies. I don't know. Let's do some bronzer. this one. We're still on my Dior. We're getting somewhere. I did get a gift card for my birthday, so I got the Gucci one, but we're not gonna use it. The Gucci doesn't get used until this one is gone. These powder brushes from BK Beauty are so amazing. I like to put bronzer on my nose too. I also think that I didn't mention so far in this video, but I talked about it in the last video that I was gonna get filler on my lower face, which I did. It's just 2 days old, 3 days old, 3 days old. So I'm still swollen and I still have a bruise right here, but I got it just in here to even this out. There was like a divot right here. And then I got a bruise right here, but that's all I did, but I like it. Okay, so that's it for bronzer. Now I'm gonna go in with some blush, Mellow Mauve. To do with the bronzer is we're gonna put some underneath my eye and smudge this out. I'm also going to put a little bit of bronzer on top of this eyeshadow, just to kind of like add a little depth to the corner. I know I said one and done, but technically just one eyeshadow. And then just kind of like, this will set it too, because it's cream. I am going to set my under eye, Fair Pink by Makeup by Mario. Again, purchases like this, they last so long. Now, what I will say, this is a really good one for mature skin. I have another powder that I bought last year because I was gonna get rid of my Laura Mercier at that point, which I'm glad I didn't. I, was influenced and bought the one size powder in the ultra pink, which I liked. But when I started to learn about makeup and mature skin specifically, I realized that that powder was not ideal for mature skin. It's too thick. You need a really finely milled powder, and then you need to tap it off, and it's nice and even all over the brush. But if it's finely milled, it will not settle into your fine lines. And you want to make sure you let that concealer really set, and then you make sure, that there's no product in the fine lines before you put this on, and then you put this on. So this is the BK Beauty 110 brush, and this Makeup by Mario is very blurring, very forgiving on the mature skin. It literally gives you like a filter, like the Instagram filters. That's my trick, by the way. Sometimes there were times before I really started getting into like learning how to do my own makeup or how it changed as I got older. I would think I looked so good. And then I'd get in the car on the way to the studio and pull down the visor of the car and go, oh my God, this doesn't look very good. Car visor mirror tells no lies. I wanted to put too much, so that's enough. The highest concentrations of where I put the most powder are around my mouth, under eye. I'll put it on my lips too. And then I'll kind of get a little bit, and I put some down here. Okay. Sometimes I will then just do a light dusting with this big BK Beauty, the 102. I love this brush because it just feels so it feels good on your skin. I'll do a light dusting all over. And then we're gonna do some illuminator and then my lip. Okay, illuminator time. Oh, my birthday. This was part of my birthday gift card, but this one I'm using already. It's the Dior, what is this called? Backstage. This was so worth it. I've been loving it. Like, it makes me happy. So this pink color, I'm gonna dab that right on top of my cheeks. Just kind of, I'm into the luminous look, if you cannot tell. I'm gonna love some of these too for the summer. I love a bronze, glowy summer look. So I love that. Isn't that pretty? I feel like it gives a youthful glow. Okay, so then what I also like to do with this is let's take this little like champagne-y color on my finger, and I'm going to put it just in the center of my eyelid. You're going to see it's going to kind of like wake up the eye. Look at that eye, looks bigger than this one. Just the center with your finger. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Then I'm going to touch my pinky into both the white and that little champagne-y color and just touch the inner corner. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my ring finger and touch the tip of my nose and then tap the bridge. And that's it for that. This, if you are looking to splurge, so many uses for it. Like you could take your brush and swirl it all around in it, like something like this, swirl it all around and just get a really beautiful like vacation glow and throw on a gloss. Gorge. So if you overline just here and here with a cool tone color, this is Iconic Nude Charlotte Tilbury. It will give you a nice pout. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to use Muted Mauve by Anastasia Beverly Hills to kind of fill it in. Then another thing I've noticed since I've gotten older is I don't prefer a matte lip anymore. I feel like a matte lip is very drying. And if you give your lips a little gloss, they are more youthful. Okay, this is Honey Pot, MAC Honey Pot. Is it Honey Pot? Honey Love, sorry, Honey Love. And I know MAC just released their lipsticks. Now, I do actually like that, but we're gonna add a little gloss. So this is a little trick. This is Lavender by Forget the Filler. It's a plumping gloss, but it's not bee sting plump. This is from Lawless, and I love it. I have two of them. I have a pink one, and then I have this lavender. But this lavender looks so good on brownie lips. It's like a cool tone, and you'd think like, oh, lavender, but look how pretty this is, watch. So it's not lavender on the lips. I really, really like it. I have one more thing I wanna do real quick. This is some mascara. I've been wanting to do bottom lash mascara. Actually, really soon, the next time I take my lashes off, I'm going to curl them and just wear mascara and see what we think about that. I actually feel like it creates a little bit of a heaviness on the eyes. Anyway, there's the bottom. I'm just loving this bag, you guys. Gosh, I can't believe how much it fits in here. And I'm about to travel soon, so I'm just gonna leave my makeup in here instead of putting it all back. Well, that's it. Makeup is done. This is the final look. I flat ironed my hair a little bit. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I know this was long, I know this was chatty, but that's just what I tend to do. So I hope to see you guys in another video. Remember, let me know down in the comments if you want me to go live. Maybe we could just do live Get Ready with me so we could have a little more of a casual chat and real-time interaction. I would love that. I'd like to know if it's something you guys want to see on this channel. But yeah, let me know if there's anything specific that you'd like me to cover on this channel. I am your midlife BFF. We're all in this together, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.